Hello everyone, this is JCK and today's the 3rd of June 2022. I wanted to do a video about angels and demons. You've been watching all of my videos since the very beginning. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I started back in September 2020 and one of my first videos was talking about demons that I saw underground in a remote view astral or etheric journey that I did. And since then it's been a constant discussion about this battle between light and dark, good and evil, angels and demons. And in my number 240 video, the 90%, I very clearly explained that a lot of the awakened and truth public channels have been infiltrated by the dark, and I discussed that, and I wanted to sort of clarify a lot of things about this notion of dark and light, but specifically about angels and demons. I did a video recently, number 250, and I was talking to Laura Whitworth and Tony Mowry about a hypnosis technique that Laura developed called Soul Center Healing Hypnosis, and in it they have a process called entity release, and essentially in this we see that in these human vessels many of us have attachments. Most of us do. Most of us get it unwillingly, just attachments coming from disincarnate bodies, from AI, from archons, from jinn, from demons, whatever. And they may be attached to you, or they may be in your energetic field trying to get to you, essentially. One thing that Laura said to me was that some of us are actually angelic beings who have incarnated on Earth in an attempt to help humans, and when the first lot came through we got trapped here, and so then another lot of angels came through to sort of help those angels out, and they got trapped here, and now we've got this reconnaissance mission, kind of all these light workers being incarnated on this earth plane to try and help our brothers and sisters and the humans as well. And that kind of struck me as this remembering. And one of the things that came through in my session, which I never considered, I mean, my best friend and I, we always used to call each other earth angels as a cute little thing, but you know, it was very clear that what came through in the hypnosis was that one of the things that were removed in my session said that I was an angel incarnated on earth. So then this brought me to this notion of duality, and what does it mean to be an angel and what does it mean to be demonic. So in this 3D realm we have this idea that angels are perfect, they can't do no wrong, that they're austere, but there's this element of restriction and following rules, and they're boring and they never do it wrong, and they don't take drugs and they don't drink and they don't do anything remotely bad. They have a vegan diet and they're really perfect, and they just they don't swear, and they don't seem to do anything wrong, but it needs to follow these rules. And even in our movies we've got the angel on one side and the devil on the other, and the angel's always this little jerk that just, you know, is the buzzkill. They're the fun wrecker. They're the one that you won't take to a party. They're the boring person who's the designated driver, who doesn't, you know, who just wants to destroy everyone's fun, right? And then there's this other element of this, these demons, or these darker people, these people who love to just go out and party, and they're sort of aligned with this demonic force, you know, this they're free, they're rebellious, they're wearing black, they listen to heavy metal, they're breaking rules all the time. It's kind of exciting and thrilling, and they're cutting loose, and they just do everything, every earthly pleasure you can think of. This is what a demonic person would do, right? There's this sense of drug taking and alcohol and freedom from restriction, and the world would have you believe that that kind of lifestyle is this momentary pleasure and this you're living for the moment, that I'll sleep while I'm alive. What is it? I'm going to live while I'm alive and I'll sleep when I'm dead kind of attitude, And I want to sort of explain to you the truth of what these energies are, because in this 3D realm, while we have this idea of what a angelic sort of persona is and what a kind of a devilish kind of persona is, I want to sort of explain the flip side of that, the truth behind all of that. One thing we noticed, and one thing I was told by Laura and Tony, was that when they do free these entities, often with the demons that they're freeing, the story is always the same. The demon is actually trapped and they're chained. If you know anything about grimoires, and these are like these spellcasting books that are often very ancient spells and instructions on how to capture a demon in order to do your bidding. And these demons are essentially fallen angels, right? They're these fallen angels, and they're these entities of energy that they're not just floating around, they've actually been instructed and sent by covens that conjure them with specific sort of rules, right? And every single one of these demons says the same thing. They have a master, they don't know that they have free will, and they're chained. They're chained and tethered. They're bound. They don't have freedom. They don't know why they're feeling what they're feeling, and they don't know why they are cutting loose on people. They're being made to do that. They're being made to be like a slave. Think about all of the satanic ritual abuse. What is that about? That's about control. It's about creating slaves. It's about sex trafficking. It's about ritual abuse. It's about ritualized rules. It's about control through fear. Think about drug taking. What's drug taking? It's that momentary pleasure, but underneath all of that is this very, very dark pull towards addiction, which when you're addicted to anything, there is nothing freeing about that. You are pulled into this state of being that is so overwhelming and suffocating, and it controls your life. It's all about control. Addiction is all about control. It's not about freedom. And it is a fear-based thing, and it is about these hidden things within us that we haven't exposed and we haven't looked at. It's us keeping ourselves locked into restriction and locked into a prison, a self-made prison. The flip side of that is we've got these chained demons, right? These demons who don't know they're free, who don't know they are of the light, who are actually bound to this earth plane and bound to the people that they serve. And then you've got the flip side of that. Out of the two, which one has wings? Out of the two, which one is about expansion? The angels. Angels have wings. Angels are expansive. Angels are constantly in a state of ascension or in alignment with love and truth and authenticity. They're free. They are not bound to anyone. They are free. They embody that. And so while some of you might see that when somebody is aligned with light that it might look like, oh, well, that's kind of boring. That means I don't get to have fun anymore. Does that mean I need to give up my coffee? Does that mean I need to give up my cigarettes? Does it mean I need to give up all of this stuff? And yes, I've mentioned before that if you want to find the authentic you need to give up these things. And what I mean by that is, instead of using them, those substances, as a cover, push through that. Now, it doesn't mean you can't achieve this expansive, authentic you you can't achieve that while you're still drinking alcohol, or you can't achieve that while you're still having a cigarette. That's not what I'm saying. It's about pushing through those things and understanding why you're using them, and pushing through to the other side, to the real you and the authentic you. When you think about earthly pleasures, people who take drugs, for example, okay, what are they seeking? They're seeking that feeling of heaven. They're seeking that momentary pleasure, and they want to keep creating that high, that sense of freedom, that sense of no restrictions, of bliss. They want to keep that going, and so they keep taking the drugs, and they keep hitting that jackpot, that poker machine. They keep taking another drink to feel that release from restriction. The problem with these earthly pleasures is what you're doing is not authentic. It's a superficial, thrill-chasing thing, and it has a limitation, and it has an outcome that is not necessarily going to get you to your authentic self. It's maintaining an old life that you had maybe in your 20s, when you had an experience of some fun periods. But when you look on the other side of that in your 20s, was it all fun? Was it all, liberating and brilliant? Or did you go through a lot of heartache and messy sort of stuff? Did you have an addiction in your 20s and you didn't realize it? Were you living this life that was actually taking you down this sort of dark path further away from yourself rather than your authentic you? I can tell you right now that when you do push through those barriers, through those dark times, through that feeling that you don't want to look at, when you push through to the other side, there is an expanded version of you that is so free, that doesn't need to control anyone, that doesn't need to control situations, that doesn't need to break hearts, that doesn't need to destroy and hurt other people in order to feel that sense of bliss. We're all just seeking that sense of bliss and return to home. We keep thinking that 5D is a destination, and I keep saying it's already here. But you can't get there in that state if you are constantly pulled into this belief that you've got to escape your current reality, or you've got to use a substance in order to feel that bliss. That bliss, that authentic part of you, that angelic part of you, the one with the wings, the one that is expansive and ever blissful in that state of love, is not a boring you. It's not a boring version of you. It's not the buzzkill. You listen to the rock music, do all those things, have the fun. But do it from a space of authenticity. Do it from that space that has explored the darkest parts of you in order to rise up and push past those fears, so that you never have anything restricting you, so that you never are chained like a demon to its master. Push past all of those things and be you, without discarding the ones you love, without being the false version of you and then falling prey to these actual demons who will attach to you and pull you further into your deepest, darkest parts of you. When I talk about the 90%, it's not about ruining your fun in this person's bad and this person's good. It's kind of like protect your boundaries, go through life exploring life, but protect your boundaries and understand the pitfalls that are out there. It's not coming from a space of restriction and perfection. It's coming from a space of be aware of your surroundings, because we all just want to be free. We all just want to explore ourselves, but we want to do it without being pulled into these demonic forces that really are all about control and all about fear and all about sucking the life force energy out of you, because that beautiful bright spark that is within you is gold to them. It is their life force. It is their life force. They don't have that. They are restricted. They are pulled in. They are slaves. They are full of fear. They are full of anger. They are in a frequency of ego. And you replicating that, thinking that you are looking for freedom in the bottom of a cup, or in a hit of speed, or in a never-ending gambling addiction, okay? All of that is a trap, because it's maintaining this inauthentic part of you, and it is food for demons. And the inevitable suffering that you will feel, and what will befall you, is loosh for these demons. So you owe it to yourself to push through this, out the other side, to push through the darkest parts of you, out the other side, the deepest fears and all of these addictive behaviours, in order to discover the real you that is so free that you won't know what to do with yourself, that is so fearless, and that is so expansive. No gripping fear, no anxiety, no pain, no suffering. It is the promised land, but it lies within. That's basically what this whole war is about. It's about finding that within you, these angels and demons, these earth angels and these fallen angels who are trying to be saved by their brothers and sisters.